Hello, boys and girls. Today is Tuesday. So we are going to start off with our first block, okay? And it says, what is the distance from 450 to 550? We are looking for the distance in between our numbers. That means that we're looking for how far or how close they are. The distance, okay? And let me make that a little bit smaller. That's better. Distance from the number 450 to the number 550. That means that we're looking from here to here. All right, but before we look at that, I want to observe, and I want you to help me observe this number line right here, okay? And I want you to tell me, and I want you to think about what could be the pattern. There's a pattern going on here, and we need to figure it out. Let's look at it. 350 to 400. 400 to 450. 450 to 500. 500 to 550. What do you think they're skip counting by? If you said that they're skip counting by 50, you are correct. And that's supposed to be a 0, 50. If you said that they're skip counting by 50, you are correct. So, let's go ahead and think about this. If they are skip counting by 50, that means that from here, from this number to this number, they skipped 50 numbers. From here to here, they skipped another 50. So from here to here, that is 50. And from here, from 500 to 550, that is another 50. So they want us to figure out the distance. How far this number 450 is away from this number. So we need to look at our distance. They skipped count 50 and then another 50. So we're going to add these two numbers together. 50 plus 50. So we're going to add 50 plus 50 equals, that is horrible writing, boys and girls. Let me try that again, okay? 50 plus 50 equals to 100. So that means that our distance from 450 to 550 is 100. That means that there's 100 numbers in between. Let's look at the next one. And it says, draw a picture using pairings of squares to show if 11 is odd or even. So we're going to use pairings. And pairings are when you're putting two things together. A pair is when you have, for example, 1, 2. Like a pair of shoes or a pair of earrings or a pair of socks or a pair of pants. Pairs come in 2. So let's go ahead and draw those 11 squares that they want us to draw. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So let's go ahead and see if all of them have a pair, if all of them have a number. Here goes one pair. Here goes another pair. Another pair. Another pair. And another pair. If there's one left over, that means that it is an odd number and not even, because this one is left alone and it doesn't have a pair. So our answer is odd, that it is an odd number. Odd. Let's go ahead and go to the next square. And it says, Mrs. Lyon's class has 17 students. 12 of her students are boys. How many are girls? Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is obviously underline the question. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to underline the question. How many are girls? Oops. Okay. And then we're going to look at, and you can't really see yellow. I don't know why I accidentally chose yellow. Sorry, guys. How many are girls is our question. Very good. Now, so we want to know how many girls there are in her classroom. We know that she has 17 students, so that's our important information. 17 students. And we know that 12 of those students are boys. 12 are boys. Okay, so right here they want us to figure out how many girls. They told us how many students. They told us how many boys, but how many girls are part of the class, are part of the 17. So in order to do that, we are going to have to subtract. So 17 minus 12. So we're going to draw a place value house. And let me tell you why we draw a place value house. We are barely starting to learn how to subtract, add double digit numbers, meaning that there's 2 digits on the top, 2 digits on the bottom. Drawing a place value house, boys and girls, will help you leave each number where it belongs. And everything is nice and lined up and it's organized and it looks neat. That is why we have to use that place value house. Once we're able to put our numbers together where they belong, we won't have to use that anymore. So let's look at the ones. We always start with the ones. 7 minus 2. So I want you to grab put up 7 fingers and subtract 2. What is 7 minus 2? If you said 5, you are correct. 1 minus 1. So pick up 1 finger. Now subtract that finger. And you're left with 0. So that means that there are 5 girls in Miss Lyon's class. Let me go ahead and erase this over here because it looks super messy and you can't even see. We know our answer over here was 100, over here was odd, and over here we know that it is 5. Let's look at the next problem, and it says Sam had 13 toys and Emma had 28 toys. How many more toys did Emma have than Sam? All right, so the first thing that we always do is underline the question. So we're going to go ahead and underline the question. So our next step is circle information. So let's look at our information, at our word problem to see what information is important and what is not important. We're looking for what is important. We know that Sam had 13 toys. We also know that Emma had 28 toys. That is important. So underline the question, circle information, then we find our boom words, okay? Our boom words are words that tell us, are we going to add? Are we going to subtract? So, how many more is our boom word? How many more toys did Emma have than Sam? They are comparing each other. They want to know who has more. Not who has less, but who has more. Just by looking at the numbers, we know that Sam has 13, Emma has 28. We know that Emma has more. But we want to know how many more. How many more toys does she have? So we are going to subtract. When you see the words how many more, you are going to subtract, boys and girls. So we're going to draw our place value house. And if everything is in its place, then we are ready to subtract. Our ones are with our ones. Our tens are with our tens. So let's look at 8 minus 3. So pick up 8 fingers and subtract 3. And you should have left with 5. 2 minus 1. Pick up 2 fingers, subtract 1 finger. You should be left with 1. So our answer is 15. 15. Alright, boys and girls, that's it for today. Please mark on your checklist the ones that you got correct. On your checklist, if you got one of the problems correct, put a check mark. And if you got it incorrect, put an X. Have an awesome day.